So Manoj, thank you very much for making time to share your insights into the future of leadership.
Well, thanks for having me, Dr. Nell.
Before we walk into the future, Manoj, can you please share a little bit about your background? Where did you grow up?
Yeah, so that's an interesting story. I was born in India, in New Delhi, but I grew up every 3 years in a different country because my father was in the Ministry of External Affairs, so foreign affairs basically in India. So 3 years I was in India, then 3 years in Saudi Arabia, then again 3 years in India, then 3 years in Switzerland. So I've done Switzerland, Korea, Saudi Arabia, and India in between. And then I did my engineering in India and finally decided to make my life in South Africa.
Right. And can you tell us what was your dream career when you grew up?
It's going to be a bit cliche, but when I was in third grade, I remember I was in Switzerland, and I saw a thing which I didn't know what it was. It was a computer, and since third grade, I was fascinated by this device. And I wanted at that time to have a computer and really understand what it could do. So after begging my father, he eventually bought me my first. It was a Commodore C64 computer when I was in third grade, and I've always been in love with computers, and I wanted to be a computer engineer. That was my dream, and I'm blessed that I was able to accomplish my childhood dream. And it's some people will say it's quite a nerdy dream, but yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be part of this new technology at that time and grow up with it.
And Manoj, who inspired you in your early days?
I promise you, it was just the fascination of being able to write a small program and see it come to life. When I first saw that in my school, that by the way, when we were in third grade, we weren't allowed in the computer lab. It was only for sixth grade onwards at that time, and that I guess was inspired me even more to say, well, why not me? Why can't I be learning about this? And my computer teacher at that time was saw, I guess, the enthusiasm and allowed me as an exception. And I guess he inspired me to learn about computers and fueled my curiosity and gave me the opportunity.
Right. Now, Manoj, you're leading a very impressive career. You've been the CIO and CSO at some of the big brands, from Straight to Standard Bank and now ABSA. Looking back over your career, would you say there was a turning point?
Sure. I think I would say every part of my career was a turning point to what I've become today. But I think the biggest one that I can think of is when I decided I wanted to live in South Africa and I wanted to be part of this country and really make my life here. And my first big opportunity was given to me by a lady called Monica Singer, who was the CEO of Straight at that time. And she took a chance on a youngster. I was in my mid 20s, and she gave me the opportunity to become the CIO of the Central Securities Depository of South Africa, Straight. And I think that really, the chance she took on me, really helped me propel my career in the right direction. So yeah, I guess that could be a big turning point you could talk about.
And what would you say is driving you today?
Oof, I think I'm looking after cybersecurity, so it's a completely different world from 10 years ago to where we are today. And one of the things that's driving me naturally is the ability to help South Africans, my colleagues, our customers, and my organization safe from cyber criminals. But that's the what. I think the bigger picture really is every single day I look at as an opportunity to do something that betters the people I work with, my family, and ultimately the organization that I work for. So the want to make changes every day so that tomorrow is a better day than today, I guess, is a big driving factor for me.
Right. Now, looking into the future, Manoj, what does the future of leadership mean to you?
Yeah, I think it's a difficult question with the world where it is today. You have to ask yourself: do we actually have good leaders, or do we have strong leaders today in the world? If you talked about couple of decades ago, you could rattle off Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, so many inspirational leaders. Um, we don't see, I believe, that kind of leadership these days. And the future for leadership for me is has to be about humanity and where we are going as a species. Honestly,
Right.
um, I think if it's still about just the advancement of technology, I think we're going to miss the bigger picture. And it's a difficult world we live in. So we need very strong and inspirational leaders to come forward, um, and look at humanity in itself and not just a sector, I guess, that they focus on.
And Manoj, what have you learned from your own leadership journey that you consider most important for building future leaders? In other words, what is it we have to do more to build, to encourage, to empower future leaders?
I think the biggest thing I've learned is increasing your emotional quotient as you become a leader or as you start leading in the world today. I think the future leaders are going to require that skill even more than anything else. Um, you'll find some very intelligent people. You can find people that are really good at their jobs. But I think the ability to lead um, truly requires an emotional quotient that is higher than others. I think that's one big quality. I still believe I'm still learning, and I can get better at is the emotional quotient and understanding people and what drives them to lead them the right way for a better tomorrow, I guess, for everybody.
Now, Manoj, these are challenging times as the world is stumbling from one crisis into the next. What is your advice for future leaders in terms of challenges? What are some of the biggest challenges they should expect to encounter in their career?
I think the the biggest thing which leaders need to embrace is that change is inevitable, but at a pace that they've never seen before. So the ability to work in an environment that is evolving in a way that they didn't anticipate and to be able to roll with those punches, I think is a critical skill for the leaders that are coming. The second thing which I see changing is that the workforce and the new generation are not going to be led by leaders because you're in a position only. So if I'm the CISO, everybody must listen to me. Those days are gone. I think the hierarchy is getting flatter, and the leaders for the future truly need to have something special that inspires people to follow them. If they're not able to do that, I think we will see the disassociation of people of the workforce from the leadership. If we don't get that balance right of what is important to the people that we work with and lead, but only look at corporate goals, I think that mismatch can be disastrous for the future. Because I think the younger generation has got aspirations, has got knowledge, has got goals that are very different from my generation and the generation before.
Now, Manoj, if you were to design a curriculum for future leaders, what are some of the new skills you would want to factor in?
Oof, I think that's a loaded question. It's like being the oracle. But I think looking at what we know today, I believe a lot of people have focused on the opportunities of technology as a skill set. So, new technologies come out like AI, quantum computing is coming. So everybody thinks about how do I harness this for the future for my organization and so on. So I need to know the basics of that of that new technologies landscape. I think, and again, this is now because of the job I'm doing, I guess. Equally important for leaders is going to be the negative impact of technologies um, that are coming out as well. So, whilst there's a lot that we can do with AI, what are some of the challenges that AI can pose to an organization and to our future? What can quantum do? What is its power? But at the same time, what are some of the things that is going to make the world a worse place because of these technologies? I don't think many leaders focus on the other side of technological advancement, which sometimes gets, I guess, challenging as that technology evolves. You can see today the challenges with deep fakes that are creating in an environment where we have the largest election year ever, I think, globally. There's more elections happening this year in the number of countries that are here than ever before. And the whilst AI has got a really positive impact on humanity, it is now currently being used by threat actors and misinformation artists more than anybody else. So we often ignore the dark side of technology and only look at the positives. So I would say future leaders need to look at the evolving world with both positives and negatives equally, and not just the one side.
Thank you. Now, Manoj, as a mentor to many future leaders, can you maybe share a success story or two where you mentored an upcoming leader and that person took your advice to heart?
Sure. I think I want to share a story instead of a mentorship. I can share those, but I think something that's close to my heart. Um, I think will maybe showcase the concept of leadership for me that is critical. When I took on this role 2 years ago, ABSA was running a academy for previously disadvantaged kids out of school, um, and which had 18 black females and two males in it. And when I started, I thought it was more um, a tick box exercise that was being done. Um, and then I went to see the academy, and with the idea that I was going to stop any further investments uh, in that academy, actually, not understanding it fully. Having been there and understood the power of youngsters once given a chance, the opportunities that they demonstrated and the intelligence they demonstrated, I took it upon myself to make sure that the program didn't stop at us just giving them the 3 year education. But very proud to say, all 19 of them are actually employed with ABSA Group right now, because I don't believe in I didn't feel right that we asked others to invest 3 years of their life with us to learn something, and then we then say, go find your own jobs or do your own thing. I think for me that would have been a failure. So for me, I took a chance on these 19 kids, and now they are employees of ABSA and are doing really well. It showcases that when you put the right faith in the right talent and give them an opportunity, they won't let you down. And I think that's in all mentor mentee relationships. It is about giving youngsters an opportunity and a direction. And more often than not, I think they will surprise us and surpass our expectations. And I ask each leader to think about that as a true meaning of mentorship, where you give people opportunities to better themselves in their lives, and not just do a tick box exercise.
Thank you. Now, Manoj, looking back over your own leadership journey, are there any role models of leadership that you encountered and maybe worked with that you would recommend future leaders should learn from?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so many different leaders with different qualities that come to mind. Right from, if you watch football, Sir Alex Ferguson, to today's Pep Guardiola, to Jose Mourinho, to technology giants like Satya Nadella and Elon Musk. I think everybody's got a different quality that we can learn from. For me, the one that has influenced my career tremendously is Ratan Tata, the former chairman of the Tata Group. The way that he took the Tata Group from where it was it was still a big entity, but to a global conglomerate, with humbleness, with humility, with the right social responsibility attached to it. For me, showcased it almost encompassed all the different qualities of a good leader, somebody that you could look up to and say, if one day somebody looks at me, if I can get a few of his qualities, I could really make this world a better place. So somebody like that, I think, and I had the privilege of meeting him in South Africa when he came to open the Tata House here, and yeah, it was a very proud moment for me to have met somebody like that.
Right. And where can our listeners follow you, and how can they connect with you?
So I'm not very big on social media or
Yeah.
forums, unfortunately. It's the nature of the job. I think important for me to do the job rather than say a lot about it. But you can follow me on LinkedIn. I am there. I do post once in a while, but when it's important, I do try to share some of my knowledge on LinkedIn.
Right. And last but not least, Manoj, what is your advice for the millions of learners out there who are looking to finish school, to start a career? What are maybe one or two success factors they should keep in mind?
Yeah, I mean, I've got young kids, and I tell my elder son this, and I can share with all the youngsters out there. Look for the person that believes in you, and then show them that their belief is worth the belief.
Right.
You will find people, you will find great leaders who will believe in you. Um, don't don't get disheartened if somebody doesn't believe in you at first. I am where I am today because somebody took a chance on me. And to other leaders, I would say, I encourage you to take a chance on youngsters. I promise you, they won't let you down.
Thank you. Thank you, Manoj, for sharing your insights and your wisdom into the future of leadership, and so many pearls of and nuggets of wisdom.
Thank you, Dr. Nick. It was a pleasure, and thanks for the opportunity.